Hi everyone and welcome back. Waiting on a new stator for that because I want that. I think that'll be up and running in no time. Still up and advertised at £800, which is, it runs beautifully, so it's an absolute steal that. Here, last week this ran. It started and it ran. It did something, right? And it kind of idled. I didn't have good fuel line to be able to get a good seal on the bottle, but I have of course got a bunch of fuel line now. It's a shame that you buy fuel line in these little packets. I used to just buy fuel line by the meters, but I have needed some fuel line, so that's worth doing. I've got more fuel line at home as well, so I bought a bunch of fuel line, and I've actually got the new tank over here in the box. Now, I haven't decided yet. I'm going to put the tank on and see. Part of me would prefer just to use this system as a trickle down system, or use this system. I'll put an inline suction system because we have a vacuum line here, right? So it might be that we make this line. It might be that this line is already a free flow line straight from the tank. This could just free flow fuel. If it does, we can either go straight into the carb, or we can put a vacuum line in so that it doesn't overwhelm the system when not running. It's hard to explain that. Anyone who's had a GS 500 or similar bike that uses a vacuum system, or an ER5, they'll understand the issues with straight dropping into a carb. See, when you're running, the pressure's kind of taken off, but when you leave it sit, sometimes the fuel can overwhelm the float and trickle in and fill up and basically go into your oil and ruin the bike in some ways. So yeah, it's complex, but ultimately flow can come straight down into the carb. Really, it shouldn't have too much issue. And actually, funny enough, the new tank is just that. It's just that it has an off switch on it. So actually, let's be honest, the new tank would be doing that as well. So I need to check. If I pop this off, it'll be this one actually. If I pop this off here, is it free flowing? I think it probably is. And if it is, all I need to do is put my new slightly smaller fuel line on from the carb to here, and we'll keep the flow going, but straight into the carb this time. Yeah. Other than that, this needs one of the crankcases this side I've had off to fix the clutch, and I didn't seal it very well, so I'd need to drop the oil, seal it a bit better. That's on me. I knew that was happening. And the other thing I'd need to do is test. I want to try and attach the original airbox. I want to try and get the original airbox attached. And then I need to test what I can disconnect from the EFI system without it shutting off. Can I disconnect the fuel pump? Can I disconnect the throttle precision sensor and stuff like that? So it's complex in some ways and not overly in others. I have the new throttle cable at home as well. I'll grab that later. We'll get that set up here into the throttle so we can actually kind of trial out this bike. So complex in some ways, simple in others. I think step one for me is to get a fuel line going from the carb up into here to get flow straight back into that carb from this tank, and then we've got rid of the fuel pump. Funny enough, the tank shape is basically identical. It's very, very close to the original. I might have to try and fit this tank because it could save a lot of issue. Remember, look at this tank. It would need painting, so I'm not really saving there'd be nothing. This is the original colour, and it'd be easier to black that even in matte if needed, and this tiny little bit here and these little side bits, than it would be to mess with the whole tank. So actually, maybe I should be switching over here. I think I'm going to have to test fit the new tank. The only slight difference is the width here. I don't know how tight I am. I think I have to do it. I think I have to pop off the original tank and try that new one for fitting. So here's the stance of the bike now. Let's see what it looks like with the new tank, out of curiosity. I'm curious more than anything about the new tank. Let's do a fitting. We have to be honest, it sits well, eh? Let's see with the seat on. It's actually sitting closer here. The seat may not work. There's a gap. There's a gap that doesn't work. Got two options there, guys. We can get the generic calf racer seats that are online. They're a bit longer, they'll fit. I might have one in the garage. Actually, I don't think I do. Pull the tank back a touch. Oh, I really don't know. It kind of works. It's kind of quite scramblery, isn't it? If the handlebars were straight revolves. I think there's meant to be a plastic here. I actually don't know, guys. I'm torn. It's quite easy to use the original tank and to get that flowing into the carb, and it will have its fuel sensor, so we'll know how much fuel's in there. But that does look clean. Looks really clean. It's not actually mounted there. There's nothing holding the front on. Maybe moving the seat forward. Oh, I don't know. Dilemma. What a dilemma. Part of me thinks original tank. Take the two lines, put them into a Y fitting, put them into one, put them into the carb, straight into the carb. I can or don't have to use a suction cut-off system, but it wouldn't hurt. I think it's original for me, even with its imperfections. And actually, now that's off and empty, this would be the time to get some sandpaper on there and smooth it all down a touch. Could even make that black. But I don't want to run the bike today. Let me see. I've got options. I'm throwing that back in the bag because it's a nice tank. You know I'll use it on something. So I want to keep that. Part of me thinks I should be sanding down the original tank while it's empty now, and maybe even matte blacking it for now. And I'll order some proper 2K lacquer for... I don't know. I know what I should be doing now. I want to try and get the airbox fitted properly. I'm curious. And then I should run the fuel tank with the new fuel lines, seal it properly, and test the bike properly under all revs and conditions. Make sure it idles. Make sure it'll run without the fuel pump connected and stuff. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Honda CD 200 1981. This bike I had on my channel about 6 years ago. This was Aiden's bike. Aiden was my first member and one of my earliest subscribers. And this was the original bike I met him on, I believe. And he loved it, and I loved it as well. And I'm so excited to have this back in my possession. I actually own this bike for the first time. This is my bike. And it's aged well and not. So I really thought this paint wouldn't last days. I didn't know who did it. I wasn't sure if it was fuel proof or not. It looks like it might clean up. The paint looks like it might be fine. Lots of rust over in other places. The wrap hasn't held up. It's gone mouldy, but that's an easy fix. Hopefully the pipes underneath are salvageable. Probably a rewrap on them, I would have thought. Chain's a bit rusty, but no, it looks like it's savable. No stupidly stiff links. And then we had these mini, I say we, I didn't build this bike. There they are, look, tiny mini indicators. Oh yes, this, oh man, I'm so glad. I really wanted them to still be there. So they are brake lights and indicators and running lights all on these tiny little things. And because it's historic, it didn't matter. It was fine to do that. And then if I remember rightly, I put these shocks on. I'm sure I put these shocks on myself, because the originals, which I've got, by the way, were non-adjustable and short. And the rear wheel, when I weighed a bit more, used to hit and rub. So, wow. I love it. Honestly, guys, this is probably going to become my summer bike. Like, seriously, I'm probably going to keep it all summer. Well, I say that, and it doesn't run at all. Doesn't run or ride. Fuel will be very stale. Oh, come on. Oh, why am I using my left arm? My left arm's dead there. Right, Gary's coming here after. I'm not going to tell him the truth that I couldn't do it, but I'll just get him to take it off as some sort of test or something. I want to get the battery off, chuck that on charge just in case, but it's 4 years old. It's not, there's no way in hell it's going to charge back up. And I absolutely can't wait to work on this. I really can't wait. Drum brakes all around, so they should just be adjustable and fine. Oh man, I love it. Love it. Wow.